Ray, this is our favorite part of the interview. So I usually do fast five questions, as you know, but now with two of us, myself and Vinny, we each have fast five questions. So we still
Okay.
don't have a name for it, but it's really 10 questions. And this time I'll kick it off.
What's
And
Fast Five? I'd answer rapidly.
yeah, like, but you have as much time as you want to answer. So if you want to expand, you certainly can. There's really no time limit to these questions. But I'll have five, and Vinny will have five, and we'll go back and forth. Are you ready, Ray?
Yes.
All right. What is your least favorite or biggest pet peeve that you have in life?
I do not like wasting time. Traffic, waiting in line.
Um,
Yeah,
are
I
you
agree.
are you a normal tie or a bow tie kind of guy?
I'm a no tie kind of guy.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't have a dress shirt with a collar. In fact, I have a hearing next week. I gave all my dress shirts away a couple months back. I got to get one just for a hearing in front of a judge. I have these no collars that I love. Yeah, it's a whole look. I look like out of a different century when I get dressed up. I have no collar.
I've never even heard of those.
Oh, I'll show them to you.
A no collared shirt.
Yeah.
I wear them constantly. You're gonna laugh. I have the same shirt in three colors, three each. This type. It just kind of comes
Oh,
together.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Just
Yeah.
kind of comes together like there's no collar, like there's nothing there.
That's incredible. So the second fast five for me, I know we talked before we got started about some things behind you. What is one sports memorabilia or piece of artifact that you could have had the option to pick up throughout the years, but it just didn't work out? So what's one thing that you wish you had in your possession that you don't?
Every month I think I'm gonna text and get this, and I just haven't. I don't. I'm a big Howard Stern fan, and I like how he's honest. So I'll give you the honest answer. I don't know how this is gonna. I didn't know. I don't know if I want. Pete Rose and I had a restaurant, and many other partners had a restaurant in Las Vegas a couple years back, and it was a dismal failure. I'll publicly state. And
Well, Ray, let
there's
me just interrupt. There's no such thing as failure. It's only what you
just
learn.
lessons.
Just
Yeah,
lessons learned.
I got a whole bucket of lessons on that deal. I got a whole lot of lessons. On the wall, there's a photograph of me like 9 years old shaking Pete Rose's hand, getting a autographed ball. I gave it to the restaurant to put on the wall because I'm thinking this is going to be here forever. This is a great restaurant. Millions of people are going to come and see this. 10 months later, it's closed. I can't find. I think Tyler. I think Pete's son has. It was a collage of Pete and Johnny Bench, a picture Pete and Sparky Anderson, and then Pete and Ray Genco in a collage that hung in the Pete Rose Bar and Grill in the Las Vegas Strip. And when it closed, I was so upset that it closed. I didn't want to go and grab it, and I wish I should have. Tyler, I hope has it, but I don't know if he does. Tyler is his son.
Switch it up on you. Wired or wireless headphones? I can see that you don't have wires right now, but
these are the noise canceling. I used to be on those flights. I spent 180 nights in a hotel room. Yeah, the year before last, constantly on flights. I don't recommend them to people who just want snazzy, but you pay for those noise canceling. And that's what you get. That's what I have. The best noise canceling I could find. So boasts something.
Third one for you. If you decided that you are going to start your own podcast tomorrow, who do you want as your co-host?
My co-host, I don't know.
Or would you just do it, just Ray Genco?
I don't like. I'm very flattered and I'm enjoying myself a great deal, and I'm terrified of what I might have said during this. So I'm having a whole ton of fun, but I wouldn't want to do what you do. I couldn't do it. I wouldn't enjoy it.
Why not?
The customer experience is paramount. Like, I want to be the expert to my legal client. If I'm making a podcast, I don't want to enjoy making it. I don't want it to make my friends laugh. I want someone who doesn't know me to look at it and be like, that's a well-made podcast. That I'll listen to. That's a good podcast, right? So, and that takes work that I don't enjoy. That takes editing. That takes technical skills. I can hit record and ramble for 60 minutes, but if you don't have a vision to edit, etc., I couldn't do it. I couldn't stay interesting. There's so many people out there. That I try and talk into doing a podcast. People with crazy experience, not crazy, people with experiences that are not in that big part of the bell curve that most people understand or share or experience. Those everyone there should have a podcast, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got to get to people like you who know how to make it look and feel and sound like a podcast, because the consumer experience really does matter, and they have expectations.
Mm-hmm.
So, khakis or jeans?
I don't have a pair of either. If I'm not wearing my dress, I don't have a pair of jeans. I don't have a pair of khakis. If I don't have a suit on with my collarless, I have Thailand fishing pants. They're the most comfortable things you've ever had, but they're like acceptable at like a dinner because they're like super nice quality. With the collarless shirt, you look like someone from a different century.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's why I ask these questions, and Alex will ask the advice questions or whatever.
Those are the hard-hitting questions.
So I guess this is a hard-hitting one. What makes you, or why do you want to be so different? Because no one's wearing non-collarless shirts or those pants that you're wearing right now.
People are.
Yes, sure. But again, it goes back to my question right earlier, right? You're not the stereotypical lawyer, or attorney, right? It's just not who you are. So why? What makes you not want to be that stereotypical suit, tie person?
I don't know what it is, but there is something there that makes me, that I prefer not to be that. But it becomes a distraction if you're trying to be different. I certainly don't try that, but what I try and do is pay attention to successful and interesting people who have found a happiness in a way of doing things that are mundane or otherwise. Jeans are so uncomfortable, and they bothered me through high school and college until finally I was able to find, it wasn't out of I like a colorful pair of pants. It was, this is so much more comfortable for me. And that Kevin O'Leary, that investor guy, talked about Thailand fisherman pants, and that's where I first heard of them, and he says he wears them all the time. So I try and just pay attention, but maybe that's where I'm most comfortable. I really can't answer, but I certainly do the traditional. If you look at last night, I was up all night reading cases. You couldn't distinguish me from a traditional law clerk for a justice, for whoever, or even a law student. Just, you have to do the work. It's also, here's an answer that actually I've stumbled on in my long-winded answer. It's kind of a test. If you know certain things are unimportant, I certainly don't do it purposefully or consciously, but now that I'm talking about it, it certainly helps when somebody is turned off because I'm not wearing a tie. It saves me so much aggravate. I'm not that I don't want to work with, like, you're wrong and I'm right. We're not compatible in so many more fundamental ways of the fabric of how I like to interact with someone. So that's an easy tell to kind of like, okay, I'm not going to put 4 years into chasing that project because it's just not a good. I retweeted something about a horrible case, and like a client, an insurance company was like on the other side, and like something that had nothing to do with them and nothing to do with our professional life. But yeah, if I show a core value that they disagree with, that's okay. So it could be a core value. It could just be like, if they're focused on the bow tie or the tie, it leads me to believe they're focused on other things. I don't know. And maybe they're focused on it until I win them over in 2 or 3 minutes of conversation. And then we're great. But if after that first interaction, they land there, it helps me say, okay, we're not going to work together in a way that will be most successful use of our time. I don't know if that's true or not. I
Well, that's your
don't
belief.
swear by that. I don't even swear by it all the time. It's just, you need a unique way to filter bad decisions out, and maybe that helps.
Dream vacation on the beach or in the mountains?
Boy, I went to Colorado last year, and I'll tell you what, the mountains. I've had a lot of beach. Those mountains are, it's unbelievable. Now, I wouldn't venture out too far. I'm not skilled in that world, and I'm afraid of a lot of these animals, but I'll tell you what, it's pretty and beautiful. I would, stay where you can see. I wouldn't go skiing. I stayed at a beautiful ski resort. That was terrifying. I wouldn't go skiing, but that's where I want to be. It's nice to look. And if this Zoom stuff keeps happening, I can forget vacation, dream living.
Where do you live?
I think those mountains, man. After I've been there, that would be great. You always
Or
want
would
to
you
live.
be the type of person that would kind of just 6 months, just sign 6-month things and you move all across
I
the country?
did that for a long time. I did that since 2014 until Corona. I was in Vegas for a case. I was in California for a case. And that's so fun and cool. But as far as hunkering down, and those mountains are beautiful. I like the remote. As long as you're within an hour's drive of an airport or 2 hours drive of a major airport, you can. I think that's where we're going. I think clients' expectations allow that. I think I'm good at kind of handling that remote stuff, but it changes. You want to be close to people. It's the people that really matter. That's why vacations are nice. You get to see the mountains and then you're back.
Well, did that count as your fifth question, Alex?
Well, no, I mean, I guess that was my fifth, because, I don't want to break the rules. So it's only the second episode.
That's why I like Alex. I don't want to break the rule. I would have never thought of that as a thing to say.
Well, you.
All right.
I mean, so.
And you're talking about flying a lot. So are you aisle seat or window?
I'm a short dude, and so I can get in that window. What you'll learn if you fly a lot, I should do like a YouTube video. They used to say you should write a book. I should do a YouTube video. It's about that much importance. I'm a really good traveler. That's a really good question for me. The window you prefer, but I'm not an up and down guy. I don't need the thing. I'm not going to bother these people. If you're one of those, don't take the window. But what you're going to find is these carts have become bulbous, and they got things sticking out the side of them now. They got cans of this and Doritos here and trays. So every time they go down, they hit the aisle seat constantly. And then the person leans on the aisle seat when they're serving this one. So I can't do the aisle. I'd rather do a middle than the aisle.
Oh, that is a very bold statement to say.
Put that on your podcast.
Yeah, that is an unbelievable thing.
When you're my height, you could do that. But I'll tell you what,
Yeah.
they bang the side of the aisle seat as though it's their ladder to get up and down the aisle. Everyone in the airline industry is great, though. I'm sorry.